Hello again. So I've made some work. It's a GUI and all that good fun stuff. So I figured to show it off a little bit for you. So to get started, I have it to, as you see here in the bottom left, where it should fit to screen. You see it can adjust to max size and so forth. But so I've also scaled this down a little bit. It's not going to be 100% perfect or anything like that as of right now, because I don't have the orbital mechanics in. But we can take a peek. Now these little white lines are just for debugging. I have them pointed directly at what would be said sun, and this is temporary as well. These are just for debugging and so forth. Putting these up here for an example. So let's add one more just so we can scroll through. So as you can see here, you get a bunch of little values. Each one of these are like the subcommutated channel. If you want to, we can just go ahead and take a look at the major channels as well, just as a whole. And that's what these are going to be down here. So you can see these. Every value up above these is going to be a value from, right now is the solar panels and the battery array. Is just what I'm showing here. It's 121, 122 as of right now, and that's how I have them set up. But what I'm trying to show here is the automatic adjustment here, as you can see with the graph as the data comes in. And the reason why this is ahead of it twice as much is because I have these values to step a little bit larger than the other ones. And the purpose for that is solely for, I guess, runtime processing, because each one of these is like a tiny little image. And of course, it takes a little bit of a render power there. So as you see the values change, I'm going to go here in the satellite and rotate it to kind of simulate an action as if it was to be orbiting to. I worked on setting it up so that way the angle of the solar panels will actually dictate how much current is actually coming in. So as I rotate this around, you can also notice this value is that angle. So it's whatever the value would be of its current match amperage and stuff like that, against this ratio here. So as it begins to rotate, you can, as you watch that number drop, we should start seeing a drop in one of these lines here. And we have our current already maxed out again, so you put it back down to like 20 or something like that. These should be maxed out, which means I did something wrong, but that's not the point here. The point is we're just trying to show off, all the effort, right there. So that's not actually maximizing. I can fix that later, but it gives you an idea of how it's working. We can do the same thing again, but this time we can do what I have set up for the quaternions. And so we're going to do that, but now we're going to do each one of them individually. So for like watching all these values, we can rotate the satellite itself, and we should be able to start seeing some changes in those values. So like I said, it's not doing the maximization thing, so it's kind of hard to tell, and I get you on that one. But what we can do is we can go to the graph panel, we can zoom in ourselves so you can kind of watch it happen. So we can just keep rotating that around. This is the Cotronium, so the XYZ axis, they should somewhat move together when we do all this number fun stuff like this. So as you can see now, they're starting to look more like a Cotronium. There they kind of have that little offset curve mesh as you see here. I don't have the W axis on here, but that's easily added into the data frame. But this is just an update on what I have done so far in this last week or so. I did fix the solar array to where it always points to the sun. There is one minor issue with the solar array, and that is it works great from its location. But if I were to take that same thing and place it underneath said sun, then what's going to happen is the actual angle doesn't change, so it's more accurate the farther away it is from that set angle. So the good news is for the math though, or am I wrong? Or was that just during one of my tests? Yeah, it's just one way. So anyways, that's what I got so far. Hope you liked.